All right, welcome back. We're joined here by KTSM's very own assignment manager and investigative director, Andra Litton. Andra, thanks for being here this morning.
Thanks, Carla and Ian. It's a bit early for me, but I'm glad to be here.
We're happy that you're joining us. Well, Andra has been keeping track of voter turnout in El Paso County for years. You have compiled several graphs that tell us how many El Pasoans have actually cast their vote this year, prior election, and back in 2016. So
let's start with this. What are we seeing in this election so far compared to the last two?
So the interesting thing, I actually started compiling the data after the 2018 race of Beto O'Rourke, because we just saw a really big increase in voters here in El Paso during that time. And so what I started to do was track them. And I don't know if we can pop up that first graphic here today. What we're going to go ahead and see is that in 2016 we had a much lower voter turnout. And then in 2020 we had a much higher voter turnout. And then this year it's actually lower than 2020 but higher than 2016. So
yeah, you can see it there on your screen right now.
Yeah.
You're seeing all those numbers right now. That's quite a big difference, actually.
And actually, if you see on your screen, the reds are going to be your Republican voters, the blues are going to be your Democratic voters, and then the white is actually our overall total. We added those two numbers together. So you'll see kind of how the one on the left is a little higher than the 2016 over on the right.
But we have another graph. You've also analyzed the percentage of voter turnout that tells a little bit of a different story comparing to just looking at the plain numbers. So we can see how the percentage of Republican and Democratic voters has changed.
That's right, Carla. So as I mentioned, back in 2018, there was a very large surge of voters here in El Paso, and a big part of that was that local leaders were really trying to register people to vote during that time. We have over 500,000 registered voters here in El Paso County. So when you actually look at the percentage of early voters, the number is down this year compared to both 2016 and 2020.
All right, well, we actually spoke to some of those registered voters who have cast their ballots in the last few elections, and they expressed how they're feeling taking a vote in this primary. Take a listen.
The information we've gotten is really insufficient. So on most of the local races that are contested, I honestly didn't vote for anybody because the information we have is not sufficient to decide.
All right, so now let's get to some potential voters and taking a look at our next graph. We're seeing why there's such a change in voter turnout in 2016 and 2020. Andra, why is that?
Yeah, so both Republicans and Democrats had really highly contested presidential primaries back in 2016 and 2020. If you remember 2016 here in El Paso, it was Trump and Ted Cruz.
Right.
And actually Ted Cruz carried that election here in El Paso County. And the same year it was Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. Hillary strongly carried the county. I think it was 66%. However, in 2020, there was a really highly contested Democratic primary. It was a full race, and I think there were about 5 candidates. Here in El Paso County, Bernie actually carried it over Biden that year. So it really pushed the voter turnout. There was a lot of people that were kind of concerned about the way that President Trump had handled, especially some of the immigration things here in El Paso. So it did drive a lot of Democratic voters here in El Paso to the polls in 2020.
And that's not something that we seem to be seeing in this election, but there's an interesting situation that happened in Michigan. We were talking about this. So basically, some of the voters are deciding to do a protest vote or an uncommitted vote. Is this something that we could be seeing here in Texas?
Yeah, and what you're talking about is actually the Democratic primary. So what we're seeing in Michigan is that there were voters that decided to cast votes for uncommitted votes, and that was a protest against President Biden's handling of the Israel war in Gaza. And here in Texas, voters do not have the option of voting uncommitted here in the Texas primary. However, as you guys mentioned earlier today, there are more than a dozen states at play today, and some of them do have uncommitted voters. So it's something that we need to keep an eye out today to see if some of those voters shift to uncommitted delegates for other states.
Definitely, we'll keep an eye on that.
Andra, thank you so much for sharing all that with us. We'll have you right back here after the break. Talk more about some of those local races as well.
Yeah, of course, and make sure to stick with us all day for all your election coverage. So don't go anywhere. Coming right up in just a few minutes, we continue our conversation with Andrea about the expectations for voters heading out to polls.